Hello there, welcome to my tour. So I thought I'd just start there because it looked quite nice. Sorry for the finger. That's some accommodation behind me, and now we're on Southlands College at the moment. The university is divided into a load of different colleges actually, including Southlands, which we are on now, Digby Stewart, which we'll go on to in a few seconds, and Whitelands. There's also Mount Clare, but we will not be going there because I have no idea where it is. It's on a different site, just like Whitelands is. That's Frobble. That's not Frobble Lake. I don't know what that's called, but I'm guessing it's called Southlands Lake or Southlands Pond. Yeah, it's quite. Thank you. It's quite windy today. Not very nice weather. It was lovely earlier, but I came out just as the sun went in behind some clouds. It's my own fault. It was supposed to be terrible weather today. I never know how to pronounce that. I think it's Duchesne. It's something to do with the convent that used to own some of this campus. I think they had something to do with Southlands, actually. Oh, some people in the distance. Because it's the Easter weekend, most people have gone home now, so there aren't really many people walking around, hence why I recorded this today. Here is, well, what you're looking at now is some accommodation on the right, and on the left is the new construction site for our state-of-the-art new library. Although it doesn't seem like it's that big, so I don't know how state-of-the-art it can be. Yeah, terrible weather, as you can see. Right, so less than impressive accommodation right here. There are much more attractive looking buildings around, I swear. In fact, you'll see some of them quite soon. There's the construction site again, and some new accommodation buildings they are building off in the distance to the left. Now it's to the left. Yes, they look quite nice actually, those buildings. That glass building on the right, which we'll be looking at in a moment, is Duchesne Building, I think it's called, or Duchesne House. I'm pretty sure that's law. Yeah, that's the law school. And there's loads of statements about the university on the side in front of us. Oh, sorry, I had to skip there because there was a security van coming and I didn't want to look like a weirdo. There's the English and creative writing building right directly ahead of us. I'm not sure what's to the right. Those things I just looked at, that was just describing the history of the university, which you can find on the Wikipedia page. Just look up University of Roehampton and you should see it on Google. It's quite interesting actually. All the different colleges, we'll be going down there later, all the different colleges. That's my favourite way we're going right now actually. Yeah, all the different colleges were founded at different times and were originally separate institutions until they were united into one in 1990 something. I think it might have been 1991. Or the early 2000s maybe, I'm not entirely sure. But it was quite recent. Lime Tree Walk, yes, this is my favourite way to go. It's very nature. Yeah, there's a lot of nature. And that's why I like it. There's a lot of that on the university campus, which you'll see. And yeah, there's a little stream. Believe it or not, it's not always that pathetic. Sometimes it actually moves. Surprised it wasn't actually, considering it's just been raining. Yes, there's some trees there, and I apologise for the quality. This was filmed on my phone, so do forgive me. Okay, we're going to be going in there into the wilderness for a little while, and the placard thing we're about to see, if you want to read it, which you probably will because it's incredibly interesting, just pause the video because I'm not going to be stopping and you can't actually read it. I hope that clears up in the final rendering of the video. If not, I am terribly sorry. I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll just send it to you. Okay, so now we're in the orchard, founded in 1922. And it's very peaceful in here. They are still growing apples in here. These trees do grow apples, although they're not harvested. They're just left on the ground to rot, or, I don't know, maybe some students come along and eat them. Or if they do, I probably wouldn't suggest it, but whatever floats your boat. I'll be honest, some people do come here and smoke sometimes, so it's not the best place to go occasionally. You might get a stench of weed. That happened to me once, actually, and this is the first time I've been back since. Sorry about the finger again. But yeah, there's a better view of it. It's lovely in here, very out of the way. That's why I like it. It's one of my favourite spots of the university. I have quite a few. And now we're off again to reconnect to the path we were on just now. They were recently doing some cutting work, as you can see by the sawdust on the floor. I'm not entirely sure what they were cutting down, but there were most likely some trees to my right or left. I'm not sure. If they were, they're not there now, because this was closed off a week or two ago for that, and we're back on this path again. See? Okay, and now we're going up to Frobble Lake, which is right in front of us. We'll be walking right down this path, and you'll be seeing two other of my favourite spots. One, and they're both directly ahead of us. Okay. Yep, that's Frobble Lake, and Frobble Lodge in the distance, which is a lovely old building. I have no idea when it was constructed. I can't find any information on it, although it looks like it was constructed in the late 1700s or early 1800s, although I really couldn't say. Definitely before it was founded, though. The university itself was founded definitely long before then. As there is an aerial photograph when it was first founded in 1922 of university building, Frobble Lodge being in the photograph. Yep, this is my favourite spot. It's lovely. Okay, and now we're carrying on down the path. And that placard we just passed, I will put in a video of that at the end of this clip, because I forgot to film it originally. I only remembered on the way back. Okay, so we'll be going over where the camera just looked. That's another one of my favourite spots. I wish my finger would get out of view. Oh lord. Okay. Yes, so I haven't actually been down this path in a while. I'm not sure why. I suppose I haven't really had much of a reason to until now, but yes. As you can see, it has been raining. There are some puddles dotted around, and I had to avoid one just then, and that's why the camera went down to the floor. There's another lovely view of the lake, and I have no idea what that bit is there. I think that might be something to do with child teaching. Yeah. This university is very good if you want to learn how to be a teacher, actually. The same as psychology, hence why I went here, coupled with the fact that I live across the road, of course. Okay, so I have no idea what that building is, and it looks rather ugly, so we're not going to go down there. We are going to go... Whoa! We're going to go left and up onto here. It looks like a bridge, but it's not. It's just designed to look like one. There's looking over to Frobble Lodge again, and out over the lake. Isn't it gorgeous? Yes, as I said, this is one of my favourite spots. And that's the placard thing again. Pause the video if you can read it, you should be able to. And back onto the main pathway, back where we were going before. Right, so recently I've seen some herons along here. Big birds, I don't like them. And that means there must be fish in the lake. I have no idea what fish though. It probably says on that placard. And down and under the tree. I used to think that I could actually walk under there without having to duck, but then I sort of tried it, and it's good that I always duck. Let's just say I would knock myself out if I went too fast, just as I assumed. So this must be this probably used to be a waterfall, or it was made to look like one, and a dried up riverbed going into the lake. Definitely artificial, you can tell it is. It would be nice if there was water running through it, it'd be lovely. And now we're going down here to avoid some people, because I don't want to look like a weirdo. And this is another one of my favourite spots, looking out over Frobble Lake. Isn't it lovely? Bit windy though. The wind's picking up, I think some rain might be on the way. Oh, I just felt some rain. Isn't that lovely? Okay. So carrying on Lime Tree Walk, and ahead of us we can see Wisteria Lane, I think it's called, but we won't be going there just yet, that'll be later. We are going to turn left first of all, and go down through the Plaza. I think it's called Trattoria Plaza? I don't know, but there's definitely a pizzeria there called a Trattoria, so I'm guessing the entire place is called Trattoria, although I really couldn't say. Right now, I would say that we are on Frobble College, founded in 1892. This is where they teach child development, and it's one of the UK's major centres for initial teacher training. How interesting. Okay, Digby Stewart College, the one with the big glass building, the Duchesne Walk, that was established in 1874. Also a teacher training college for Roman Catholic women. As you can see, this is the Plaza, by the way. That's the hive there. They serve organic food. That's the church. And again, the hive. Yeah, they serve organic food grown and produced on campus. That is the shop there. And to the right is another pizzeria. And cafe is behind it also. That's just some beautiful accommodation. Okay, so as I was saying, teacher training college, Roman Catholic women. The college owes its existence to the Society of the Sacred Heart. I believe that's the convent that used to own some of the university, and their members continue to support the college and the university. Very interesting. That's drama and performance building right there. I don't know what that little one is. I think that might be administration. Some administration, anyway. Frobble Lodge has a lot of administration offices in it as well. Oh, there's a person. Okay. To the right, you will not see this, but there is the information centre, and in front of us is the library, but I'm not going to be filming that because there are some people there gathered outside and I don't want to film them. That's probably not a good idea. So we'll be skipping to another part now. And now we're back on Frobble College, looking up to Frobble Lodge along Wisteria Lane. Well, this is one of my favourite walks on the entire university. You're about to find out. In fact, you should find out now because it's gorgeous. There's a lovely green area where you can sit down next to the lake. Especially in the summer, that is wonderful. Southlands College, the one we started on, founded in 1872. The college derives its ethos, I may possibly be reading this from Wikipedia, from the Methodist Foundation. And, okay, there's nothing really of interest there. It's just it's founded in 1872, and it's a Methodist foundation. That building there is, yeah, this is Frobble Lodge. It has a lot of administration buildings in it, although I think there's also a lecture hall or two in there. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. In a minute, we'll be going to Whitland College, which is where I study, and I personally think it's the best, but I am sort of biased, so yep, Frobble Lodge again. Isn't it lovely? You see, in Roehampton, when Roehampton was still a village, it was very popular with the aristocracy in the 1700s, 16 and 1700s. A lot of the mansions around here, and there are an awful lot of mansions, including this one, were built in that time, so this was most likely built at the same time. So probably in the 1700s. And London has a lot of places like that. You'll notice that each area in Roehampton has in London has a high street area. Down there, by the way, is just accommodation, so we won't be going there. It's nothing interesting. Although that white door, that you may be able to see in just a moment, right there, that's the Starbucks. I love the Starbucks. As I was saying, everywhere has a high street area, which is the original village or town area, because London isn't just like other cities where it's just a village that's grown into a massive city. And it's just a load of villages and towns that grew into each other. So, technically, London is the smallest city in Europe because it is only of 1 square mile, which is a square mile in central London, and it is the financial district. Although, all the other boroughs come into the, I don't know what it's called, Greater London, I'll just call it Greater London. It's the City of London Council or something like that, but they all have their own councils running them. Anyway, so technically this is London, but also technically it's not, if you catch my meaning. Now we're going down to view one more thing on this main campus, which is, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but you can make it out later. Look at this lovely woodlands and the lovely car park. So yeah, there we go. I'm not entirely sure what that building is, whether it's a chapel or a mausoleum, but there's definitely a graveyard in front of it. I don't know whether it's to do with the convent or the mansion, most likely the mansion, although possibly both. But there are 3 graves, I think, in front of the area, and it's completely closed off, naturally, as you can see. But it is lovely. I'm not entirely sure what it is. And now we're going to be leaving the main campus and going on to Whitlands University. And it is definitely starting to rain now. I mean Whitlands College, not university, what am I on about? Although Whitlands College, as were all the colleges, separate institutions. Right, now we're leaving through a little woodlands area. That's the security office in front of us, although I'm not sure anyone's ever in there because I've never seen a light on. And I'm pretty sure the gates are automatic. Okay, that's back down to the main campus. Like the main part of it, at least. And now we'll be leaving. The building in front of us that you can see was built in 1612 for an earl. It's beautiful. Used to be owned by Queen Mary's Hospital, where I was born, right next to it. This is Whitland College. Founded in 1841, it's by far the oldest of all of them. It's one of the 5 oldest institutions for trainee educators in England, and a flagship women's college of the Church of England. It was the first college of higher education in the UK to admit women, and occupies a 14-acre site overlooking Richmond Park, which you'll see in a minute. That's accommodation over there. It's a beautiful college. This is where I study, as I said. It's lovely. That's the council estate. I think it's called the Alton Estate. It's one of the biggest in the country. As you go further into the council estate, it isn't as great. It's not such a nice area, I'll be honest with you, but on the campus it's lovely. And this isn't very far in, so I'm fine. That right there is the chapel. I cannot for the life of me remember its name. Which is strange, because I usually can. But no, Whitland College has quite the history, actually. The building itself is called Parkstead House. And I'll just get up its history, because I cannot remember it. Wait one moment. And there's the grass area looking out over Richmond Park. Parkstead House, here we go. Ah yes, it was called Besborough House at one point, although its original name is Parkstead House. It was built for William Ponsonby, the second Lord of Besborough. It started in 1760, construction started in 1760. And it was completed in 1768. Aha, here we go. That's what it's called, Manresa Hall. The chapel is called Manresa Hall, and you'll see some pictures of it later. It was built in Manresa House is... Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. In 1861, Parkstead House was taken over by the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, and they renamed it Manresa House, after a town somewhere of religious significance, I'm not entirely sure, and they built the chapel. Although when Whitland College took it over, this is one of my favourite places, by the way. That's one of the rooms I'm taught in, actually, to the right. It's beautiful in there. You'll see some pictures in a moment. Ah, isn't it lovely? Right over Richmond Park, one of the biggest parks in London, and a royal park as well, where the kings and queens used to go and hunt, most notably King Henry VIII. He also went to stop off at a pub near here called the King's Head, which is very expensive, but unfortunately also one of my favourite pubs, so I do spend quite a lot of money there. Oh dear. And the focus is... Oh god, focus is going a bit strange, just give me a moment. Okay, so as I was saying, Whitland College acquired Parkstead House in 2001 and renamed it Parkstead House. Prior to that, it was called Manresa House. So yes, that's the history of the building, a very brief one. If you want more of a history, look up Parkstead House on Wikipedia. It should come up with it, if not, just say and I'll send you the link. And now we're walking around. Apparently, I've heard that underneath this grass are the bodies of hundreds of dead priests, and I can believe that, actually, because you'll see it in a minute. There's a shrine, or just not a shrine, but that's what I'm going to call it, and it's got the names of many, many priests on it, and I can imagine that this is where they're all buried. Okay. So yes, now we're catching the last of the sun. As you can see, it's setting, and it's lovely. I'm so glad we got some sun. The sky looks amazing. Just everything looks so good right now. It smells good too. I remember when I filmed this, it smelled amazing because the rain had just fallen, and I love the smell of fresh rain. This little edifice we're coming up to, and I'll film it in a minute, is to the right. That's Parkstead House again. Yes, to the right, you'll be seeing it any second now. I'm not sure whether it was built in 1854 or 1904. It's got both dates on it, but they no doubt both have some significance to the structure. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it looks like I'm going to call it a gazebo thing. Right, so as you can see, this is where they play football sometimes, on top of dead priests. How charming. And now we're approaching the shrine thing that I told you about. And there's all the names of the priests, although you can't really see them. Oh, that's fallen over. I'll just pick that up. In fact, I'll cut the video here. There we go. Beautiful. Back as it was. Okay, so over to my favourite spot again. There's the council estate, which I used to live on, coincidentally. Lovely flats. They're huge. Just to show you about the area and the people who live in them. Not talking about me, of course. I'm amazing. Thank you very much for agreeing. Okay, carrying on this path. It's lovely here. I have to take you here at some point. And trust me, I will. It is open to the public, so even if I'm not going to the university at the time, we'll be okay going on. There are usually one or two old couples walking around looking at the building. And there's a first glimpse of Richmond Park and a little bit of the council estate. There's a building in front of us. I don't know if you saw the roof. And moving along, right in the distance, you might be able to see two benches. That is where we're going. Almost there. Lovely, isn't it? You can just hear the wind and the birds. All alone. No one here to disturb you. It's a wonderful place to go and hang out. Even in the summer with loads of people outside, it's still gorgeous. It's beautiful. Very charming and serene and calming. As you can hear. And here we go. Richmond Park. Absolutely beautiful. My favourite park in the entire city. It is huge. This park is massive. It's the biggest in the whole city. It borders, I think, about 5 different boroughs. It's just wonderful. What we're looking at now is the golf course, on Richmond Park. But we can see right out over it and over into Richmond. You can't see it in the video though because the sun's in the way, but you can in the distance see a crane at Richmond, but that is very far away. I mean, what am I talking about? That's the closest point to here walking across Richmond Park, if you know what I mean. And that brings us to the end of the episode. There'll be some pictures following shortly of the inside of the buildings. Here we go. This is Man Racer Hall. And one of the rooms that I'm taught in. And the ceiling, because it's lovely. And this is called the Ruskin room. I think the one before this is called the Besborough room. That's the ceiling again, because it's gorgeous. Oh, and that's Man Racer Hall again. It's now a computer room instead of a chapel. We have our own chapel, but it's beautiful. When I took these pictures, it was about 4 in the morning, so there was no one here. Yes, the building's open 24 hours, although the security leaves at 2 AM and comes back at 7. I was doing some coursework I should have done before. Bye!